Hello everybody, Loki Magics, another day, another video, but in this video today we are going to take a big risk because we're doing a best relic to use video. And it's risky because everyone has their own opinion and that is fine, right? And to be truthful, no one has all the relics, so it's going to change with time, right? We're going to discover new things, but for now, let's talk about what are the best relics to use on some of our more popular heroes. And why am I doing this? It's because I get comments like this on my channel and I figure, you know what, man, it's time to go big or go home. So let's get into it. Alright, so we have lots of heroes to go through and I don't want to make a very long video, so I'm going to do this really fast. But if you guys have any question on the hero or the relic, just ask that question in the comment section and I'll gladly get back to you, right? So let's start off with Sarah. Sarah, I say her best relic is the ice one, the frost one, because one, you do get this free in chapter 7, but also this right here is strong against the fire dragon, right? So being able to clear the fire dragon lets you get better gear. Getting better gear lets you farm other content in the game, and therefore you get to progress your account a lot faster. Morgan. Now this one here, probably the most easily debatable topic when it comes to her relics. Now this is just my opinion. Everyone has their own, but I have to say, if I had to choose one, I would say the fire relic. Only because I use this way more often than any other relic in the game when it comes to Morgan. Because this A2, man, it's just too strong. Anytime you could reduce someone's turn meter, it's just too good, man. Like, this is such a strong ability. And it's on her A2. Now, I'm not saying that the frost relic isn't good because this A3 is very strong, but as of right now, there's just no need for it, right? Like, you could use it in PvP to like manual some stuff, and even in PvE, right? This is a very good relic also, but I'm just saying, if you had to pick one, I will go with the fire one. And then, you know, just to kind of talk about this a little bit more, her storm relic is not bad either, right? This A2 right here, very strong, and it spreads that decreased defense across the board, right? So if you're trying to clear out those the PV content where you're trying to get, like, you know, cleared in 20 turns, the wind relic is pretty good for that. But outside of that, man, like, I just constantly use the fire relic, so that's why for Morgan I'm gonna have to go with the fire relic. Next up, Bedivere. Now this one here, fortunate for us, he starts off with his frost relic, which I think is the best relic for him because this relic has everything you need, right? You have this A2 that hits super hard and is very strong, and then if you need and skill that hits everybody like an AoE, this A3 has it, right? And it does pretty good damage. So overall, compared to the other two relics, his frost relic just is the complete package. Sometimes you just need to hit one person really hard, and sometimes you need to hit everybody really hard. So this one here, easily frost relic. Okay, next up is Lancelot, and I'm going to have to say his frost relic is the best because it does pretty much everything you need from the champion. You got this A2, attacks one enemy 3 times, applying chill, right? And it's at a very high percent. Book it out, it's at 90%. So this is going to help you with gargoyles. It's going to help you with any boss that's weak to dot damage. And then if you want to use this A3 here, attacks all enemies 3 times and having a chance to freeze. So this is really strong in arena. So I think overall, even though his fire relic is also pretty good, I'm going to have to say, if I had to pick one for Lancelot, it'll definitely be his ice relic. Next up is Turin, and between the two relics, Frost and Storm, I'm gonna have to go with Storm, only because, right, Frost relic, even though hers is pretty good, right, you get some good buffs here, and you do get a very strong healing, right, AoE healing. However, throughout the game, everybody wants to use the Frost books, right? So we need to alleviate some of that stress, and luckily Turin comes with her storm relic, and it's really good. Like, I really can't choose which one's better, but I think going with the storm relic is safer because you're gonna have more storm books versus frost books, right? And you can use those frost books in other places. And this storm relic is not bad, man. This A2 is very strong, and then this A3 overall big heals. I will say easily for Turin, for your overall count, go with the storm relic. Next up is Jillian, and this one's really easy, man. It's her Frost Relic, hands down. There's really no arguing this one either because this A2 is very strong. It provides lots of heals, and also overall it does reduce the attack gauge of your enemy, right? So overall, her kit is healing and reducing attack gauge, and this Frost Relic does both perfectly. So easily Frost Relic for Jillian. Ane is a tough one because overall her kit's pretty good and all her relics are pretty good, but if I had to pick one, I will go with the Frost Relic because this, I think, is the ideal A3 when it comes to a lot of content, especially in PvP. This, increases your defense and your effect resistance, right? That is really good. Dot immunity, and on top of that, she applies counter attack, so the more resistance she has, the more damage she's going to do, right? And then this A2 is really strong too. Remove debuffs, dots, and you get attack increase, right? So overall, if I had to choose, I'm going to go with the Frost Relic when it comes to Ane. Next up is Guinevere. Now her kit overall, it's okay, it's meh. But if I had to choose, I'll go with the Storm Relic because you have A3 here, attacks 5 times. This could help with barrier and those bosses where you got hit on multiple times, and it's really not that bad. And then the A2 pretty much has the highest multiplier for applying shield across the board to all your allies, right? 13%. So if I had to choose Storm Relic, the rest of them are just not as good. So yeah. Next up is Iruit, and this one here is going to be a tie between Fire and Ice Relic, but I have a feeling that the Frost Relic is slightly better because look, this A3, we all see it, right? It does a lot of damage, except it's on A3, and then this A2 buffs them up, but a lot of people don't like it because it doesn't attack. So some people are probably going to say the Fire one is better because this A2 attacks an enemy 3 times, you get some buffs, and then he continues attacking, right? So there is that possibility that this is stronger, but I doubt it. I don't think it's going to be as strong as the Frost Relic. And then looking at the A3 on the Fire Relic, it doesn't seem like it's going to do a lot more damage, right? So if I had to pick, I'm going to go with the Frost Relic is Iruit's strongest relic, but we won't really know till we get the Fire Relic. But for now, I'm going to go with the Frost Relic. Alright, next up is Merlin, and man, this one's even harder than Morgan's because his Fire and his Ice Relic is so good. Like they're both really good, man, and I can't really decide which one's better, so I'm gonna let you guys decide that one. Like, leave in the comment section which one do you think is better when it comes to Merlin, his Fire or his Frost Relic, right? They're both so good. It's super hard to decide, but man, if I had to pick, I'm gonna go with Frost because this A3 has arena potential. A2, just works really well everywhere. Man, yeah, I'm gonna go with Frost. But since, as you guys noticed, there's a lot of Frost relics that are kind of being chosen in this video, right? So maybe going with Fire is better because you have extra Fire books. So that's something that maybe makes his Fire relic better than his Frost. But yeah, it's a tough one, guys. You guys let me know in the comment section. Next up is Sigrun. Now this one here, it's all just theory crafting because I don't know. I have her in Fire Relic and I think it performs really well. Like, it's really good. But this Wind Relic, this Storm Relic here, this A3, man, this thing looks scary, man. This thing looks like if you fully book it, you're going to do some crazy stuff with Sigrun. And we're not really picking a lot of Storm Relics, so you're going to have a lot of Storm books left over. Why not try it on Sigrun's Wind Relic, man? If anybody out there does have this, please let me know how good this Wind Relic is, because if I had to choose, I'm gonna go with Sigrun's Storm Relic on this one. Next up is Clementine, and for some reason a lot of people like Clementine. I just never really liked her too much, but if I had to pick something, I'll go with the Storm Relic because all of her relics are pretty similar. But she starts off with that Fire Relic, and a lot of people probably book that out. But I think it's a waste because you could use that Fire Relic book in much better places. And then we do have like an abundant amount of Storm Relics because a lot of Storm Relics aren't that good. However, if you really, really want to be smart about it, I wouldn't book anything on Clementine. But I'm just saying, if I had to pick one, I guess it'll be the Storm Relic. Speaking of champions not to use your book on, I'm gonna say Issel is also one of those heroes because, like, look, man, like, I get it, early game you need everybody, right? And I feel like as soon as you could stop using Isolde and transition to someone like Turn and Sarah, it's just going to be much better for you. So this one here, I'm just going to put her in the category of just don't waste your books on her, right? Just don't do it. Just use her for where you need her at the moment, but try to transition away from her as soon as possible. That's just my opinion. So I think that pretty much covers like all the ones I have to kind of explain a little bit. So from here, we're just going to go really quick and rapid fire, right? So when it comes to Sergius, easily it's going to be his fire relic. This A3, man, is going to be very strong. I can't wait to get it, right? And then we got, what's this, Claudius? Now this one here, I went with the fire relic because overall, like all her relics are pretty similar, and this is her starting one, so why not, right? This A1 right here, I think is very strong with her passives. Like you could go attack over and over and over if it triggers. So this one here, I like. And then let's see here, who do we got? Oh, obviously Tristan. This one here, 100% his fire relic because this A3 on it attacks 8 times. This is going to make it a lot easier to get rid of those barriers. So definitely that one for Tristan. Now we have, what was the name? Clarison. This one here, a lot of people are saying ice relic. I want to test this for myself. So I'm just going to go off of what everybody's saying. Clarison's ice relic is the best one for her. Definitely easily Cormac A3, right? His ice, his frost A3 is very powerful. It's like Hulk smash powerful. And then this one here, I don't even have to say anything. Rosy Ear, fire relic. I think everybody knows this by now, but if you didn't know, now you know. Very strong A3. When it comes to K, I think using her wind storm relic is just fine. Right, you got the A2 attacks 1 to 4 times, and the A3 kind of does the same thing but attacks all enemies. And you know, this one here I don't think is that bad, man, especially that, you know, storm books aren't in a huge demand, so why not? K storm relic is the best one for her. When it comes to Accolon, the wind is perfectly fine also because you only really use this hero for this A2 right here for the polar bear, right? So this one here, not bad. Wind relic is strong. Storm is strong against frost, so yeah, it works out. Go with the storm relic. Anguish, this one's real easy. A lot of people only use them for Gogoros, and this is frost relic. His A3 is the best performing relic for him, and frost is strong against fire, so works out, right? And that's about it. We got Alan here. I like to use Alan's fire relic because it's good against storm, which Alan is really good for the tiger, and tiger's element is storm. So I think for Alan, definitely go with his fire relic. And I think that's about it. I mean, I'm sure I probably missed a hero or two, got something wrong, so please let me know in the comments section. But hopefully this helps you guys out. And yeah, man, you know, this game is still changing, still developing. There's going to be a lot of new information coming out, but as of right now, I think these are safe picks. So if you have any question and you guys want further detail, just don't be afraid, ask me in the comment section and I'll get back to you. But other than that, see ya.